www.adreamforabetterworld.com. This is the second video in the series called Working with Basic Fractions. In case you missed the first video, you can get it free at www.adreamforabetterworld.com. You may also get my free workbook from there as well. If you do not have the workbook, please stop this video and get it free from www.adreamforabetterworld.com. This video does have prerequisites. You must know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers. You will need to know the vocabulary in the workbook. Plus, you should have finished the problems from the workbook covering the first video. Remember, it is never a good idea to learn new material until you are sure you are comfortable with the material you just learned. So please finish those problems before continuing. If you have finished the prerequisites, then you are ready for this video. The workbook will help you a lot after you watch this video. So let's begin. This video will only cover the addition and subtraction of a fraction with an integer, like 2 minus 3/8. So, what do you do when you have one fraction and one integer? How do you add or subtract them? Take this problem for example, 2 minus 3/8. How do we subtract them? Easy. All you do is turn the integer into an improper fraction, and then you can add the two fractions. Now, here is an easy question for you. Which improper fraction should we use? We know that 2 is the same as 4/2, as well as 6/3, 8/4, 100 over 50, 400 over 200, as well as countless more. So which one should we choose? Do you remember the first video you watched? What did we talk about? Adding fractions with the same denominator. We already have a denominator, it is 8. So if we can choose the other fraction to have the same denominator 8, then we will have an easy time subtracting those denominators. So we choose 2 to be 16 over 8, and now we can easily subtract 3/8 from 16 over 8. We get 13/8 or 1 5/8. Now let's go ahead and cover one more point that gives some students trouble. Let's take a look at this problem. 3 minus 1 7/8. It looks simple enough. For me, when I teach this, I prefer to change the integers into fractions. So I have 24/8 instead of 3 and 15/8 instead of 1 7/8. So now it is easy. Why? Because we learned in the first video that when subtracting fractions with the same denominator, all we do is subtract the numerators and leave the denominator the same. So we end up with 9/8 or 1 1/8. Now some of my students prefer to add or subtract the integers and add or subtract the fractions. While I don't like teaching that method, I do teach it to give them the choice. The problem is that many of them will do it the wrong way. Take a look at the problem again. 3 minus 1 7/8. When they try to cut it apart, many of them will do this. They will say 3 minus 1 plus 7/8, when in reality it should be 3 minus 1 minus 7/8. This is a big problem. So we get 2 minus 7/8. So then we switch the 2 to 16/8 and then subtract the 7/8. Then we get 9/8, which is the same as 1 1/8. Of course, there is another way you can do this. You can turn the 3 into 2 8/8. Then we can subtract the integers and subtract the fractions to finally get 1 1/8. What? What do you mean we can turn 3 into 2 8/8? Well, what is 8 over 8? It is 1, right? So 2 plus 1 is 3, so it is the same. Here is another way to look at the problem. 3 is equal to 2 plus 1, right? And you can rewrite 1 as 8 over 8. So we have 3 is 2 8/8. How you want to do it is up to you. I have presented you a few different ways to do it. I hope you will try out them all and see which way you like the best. Remember, you will like one way sometimes and another way other times. This will be very true once you are ready to solve quadratic equations. You will need to choose different methods for different problems. Any student who does not try to learn multiple ways to solve a problem will encounter problems all their life. So please tackle that worksheet I have given you and try the problems a few different ways. Once you have solved all my problems, go back and create your own. Remember, to create your own problems, you just choose an integer, then add or subtract it to a fraction. That fraction could be a proper fraction, or improper fraction, or even a mixed fraction. The more you work on it, the better you will become, and also the faster you will become. Soon you will be able to look at these types of problems and just tell the answer without any written work. Of course, you should always show work on your test. But in the real world, hopefully you will know how to do these without any problems. Okay, I think you know enough to tackle the second section of problems on the workbook. Remember, no cheating. You will learn nothing if you look at the answers before you try the problems. Only look at the answers after you are done. Note, all answers in the back of the workbook are written out step by step. Once you are finished those problems, then you are ready to try the third video, adding two fractions where one denominator is a multiple of the other, like 1/4 plus 3/8. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please tell others about it. If you have any comments, you may send them to me at comments@adreamforabetterworld.com. While it is free, I do hope you will consider making a donation to us so we can continue to keep making more of these videos. Please make your donation by using PayPal and using our email address donation@adreamforabetterworld.com. To use PayPal, just visit www.paypal.com. It is a free and safe service to send money. Thank you for watching.